Yo, how's it going? My name's Connor. If you don't know me, you've just come to my YouTube channel for the first time because this is my first video. So I want to welcome you because we talk about all sorts of amazing and spiritual and philosophical and law of attraction stuff. So if you like that sort of stuff, then be sure to stick around. Oh, I got something in my eye there, but be sure to stick around and leave a like and subscribe and do all of that good stuff that I'm only going to ask you to do at the end of the video if I don't ask you now. So look, today we're going to be talking about 3 things that I really genuinely believe are the most important things that anyone can do in their life. It's as far as mindset goes, as far as getting the law of attraction to work in your favor, and just being a happy person, right? Because ultimately what we're seeking at the end of the day, we're all seeking to be happy. That's what we want, whether it's in the form of money, relationships, everything comes together to create that feeling of happiness, and that's what we're after. So I thought I'd make this video in order to give you things that are going to help you achieve those feelings, and they're really simple to follow. They're not difficult to do. It just takes a little bit of proactiveness on your part, because there's no point in me just talking about this stuff and then you watching it and then not doing anything about it, because then it's not going to do anything. It just becomes a mental exercise. And so, you can go to the gym, look at the weights, but if you just look at the weights, your muscles aren't going to go stronger, right? They're only going to go stronger if you lift the weights and then eat and diet and go throughout the daily rituals associated with growing stronger. So your mind's exactly the same. All right, and the first point I want to talk about is gratitude. Now, you've probably heard this one a million times. In fact, you have. If you're into the law of attraction niche, assume you are if you're watching this, you would have heard that, gratitude is one of the main ones. Rhonda Byrne talks about it quite a lot. In The Secret, you've probably seen that. That's like the basic film that everyone has seen who knows about the law of attraction. If you haven't seen it, you should see it. It's really simple. It can be misleading. Some of it doesn't fill in all the. There are a lot of gaps. It doesn't fill all of them in. But I would definitely say it's a pretty essential. I watched that when I was 14. I'm 26 now, so pretty crazy. I've known about this for a long time, but I never practiced gratitude. I only did it on certain occasions where I could actually be bothered. As of recently, though, I've been doing it pretty much. Well, I've been doing it every day. And what I do is I wake up in the morning, and before I get out of bed, is I focus on my breath. Now you'll notice when you first wake up that you kind of like, if you're like most people, you don't really want to get out of bed. You'd rather hang onto the duvet and let it kind of ensconce you, if that's even a fucking word, and let it just keep you in bed and let it cocoon you. And you like, especially now it's getting into winter, is here in England, so it gets pretty cold. So I don't really want to get out of bed first thing. We're not like bouncing out of bed. I am, but a lot of people who are just kind of like not really satisfied, live average lives, right? They're not really like giving themselves a spring in their step to get out of bed for. So what I want you to do, and this is the number one point, is before you get out of bed, start listing the things that you are excited for in your life. It doesn't matter what it is, just anything that gives you a good feeling. But damn it, I keep getting some things in my eyes. Now, if you can before your feet touch the floor, start feeling good feelings and be in control of your breath, what that's going to do for you is you've already set an intention for the day. Because if you just get out of bed and you go through the motions, and then, if you see the law of attraction, the film, you see there's 2 examples. One guy gets out of bed, stubs a foot, right? That's really annoying. If you've ever stubbed your toe, it really fucking hurts, okay? And that can really annoy you as well. And that's what happens to her. All right, she stabs her foot, and then she's run out of toothpaste, and then something else goes wrong, and something else goes wrong. So if you just get out of bed and allow the circumstances to just be whatever they will be, sometimes they're going to be good, but a lot of the time they're not going to be good, because you're just kind of relying on things on the outside of you to make you happy. You're never going to be happy like that. Happiness is generated from within. Okay, so things on the outside, if you want them to be good, you have to be in control up here. And you can do that before you get out of bed. So what I want you to do is set your intention before you get out of bed. Okay, go through things, say 10 things. Okay, I go through 10 things, and I do another thing as well, just to a little bonus tip I'll give you on this point before I leave this point. So get out of bed and I start controlling my breath first. I just focus on my breath. There may be noises going on outside of me. There are always sounds going on. But I don't allow them to influence the way I think. If my phone rings with a notification, I don't respond to it, or I don't react to it. I just focus on my breath. And what you do is you listen to your breath. You listen to it, but don't force it. Just allow it to run. This is straight from Alan Watts, okay? In the guided meditation he has, I'll link it in the description below actually. It's so good. I listen to it. I still listen to it now, not every day because I'm that good at it. I've been meditating for a long time now, so I can just kind of do it. But it's a really good one to follow. And what he does is he gets you to just follow your breath and listen to everything outside of you as if it's one sound. Okay? Don't necessarily analyze and start naming things. Which if you're first, you're just getting into this, that's quite hard. Right? You will do it as well. But the more you practice, you'll find that it does get pretty easy to just allow everything to become one sound. And what happens is the inside of you becomes one with the outside. And it's a beautiful feeling. And this is going to naturally generate good feelings, because what happens is your source, we're an expression of, if you believe in God, whether it's you believe in God from Christian point of view or some other religion. I myself am just a spiritual, I don't subscribe to any specific religion, but all religion essentially teaches the same thing, is that there is a God. There is something non-physical that teaches, that flows through us, and is, the one power of the universe, the God. We are all an expression of that God. God is seeking to differentiate himself through us. What do I mean? Well, everything is the same. Everything is energy, okay? Everything. We're all an expression of the power that created the universe. Now, I don't want to go off on a tangent there. I will talk about more about that in another video. But God is seeking to express himself through us. So the default state of us is love, is good, is compassion, is understanding, is gratitude. So what happens is when you focus just on your breath, you eliminate a limitation. You're not focusing on anything specific. So you return to your default state, which is positivity, good feelings I just described. So you just feel good. Because obviously what normally happens is your emotions are generated through your focus. So whatever you focus on and you choose to train your attention on becomes whatever you feel. So if it's something positive, it's going to be positive. If it's negative, it's going to be negative. But we're doing a positive thing here. So that's number one. Number two is knowing that the law of attraction is always working and having faith in that. Because it is always working. Whether you're consciously aware of that or not, it's however you're living your day, whether you're a good person or a bad person, law of attraction is working all the fucking time. All the time. So that ties in with the first point, and live with intention. Set your intentions for the day, because if you don't, you're just going to allow everything, you're going to be the wind pushing the leaf around, or the plastic bag outside the supermarket. The bag's just going to be flung around by circumstance. That's a lot of humans these days too. No, they're not really controlling their state. They're just allowing the state to dictate their state. That's quite kind of true there. That's what happens. So you don't want to be that. So when you understand that law of attraction really is true, it is working all the time, A tip for you to help to understand this, because sometimes there's mental resistance associated with what I've just said, because it's not physical. We don't see it. We don't see it working. We can only experience it working, okay? So how does that work? So I want you to set a small goal for yourself. Okay, don't start big, because if you're new to this, you're not really... There's too much resistance associated with it. You're not going to be able to make it work. You might be able to if you can bypass that resistance, but your ego is stronger than your ego is stronger than your will. I promise you that. And that goes into our third point we're talking about in a minute. But the second point for now, and getting that one drilled into that beautiful mind of yours, is this point that we're on now, is learning the law of attraction is always working. So set a small goal for yourself. Could be to attract a cup of coffee. Could be to attract 5 of whatever currency you're in, like $5, £5 in my country. Or just have a small other goal, attract a hug from someone. And what you'll discover is that there's no resistance associated with that, because you'll be like, oh, well, I don't really care if this happens. You know, it could happen, like, I don't really care. There's no resistance. And you know it's possible. Your mind can get behind that idea. So when you attract that thing, that's going to solidify your belief in the fact that it is working, always working. And then you can move on to bigger things after that. So number 3 is, I briefly mentioned it, but I'm going to go more in depth now, is self-image. Now I'll do a video much like later on, and it'll be one as long as this, just on self-image. Is really who you are is what you get. Okay, the power is always within you. Remember I said that God is differentiating himself through, he's expressing himself through us. We're all an expression of the same power. Well, you see, a lot of us have got this kind of mixed up. We believe that we're a physical human being having a spiritual experience. We're a spiritual human being, or a spiritual expression having a physical experience. So your self-image has already been built up through birth. All right, so from the time you're in your mother's womb, though you can still hear when you're a baby. You can still hear the words that your parents are having, people around you are having. And then when you're born, as you're going through life, the environment, people, your peers, your friends, your family, things that you see around you are influencing that subconscious mind of you. They're influencing the way you think. And you don't have control over any of it, because you don't know what I'm telling you now. So now that you do know it, you can begin to choose the thoughts that you're having and the type of person that you want to become, because ultimately you know now that you are a spiritual being. We're spiritual beings living in physical bodies. That's of course the truth. So your self-image you can start with that. Instead, if you're trying to, for instance, like I have a business, a subliminal business. Now, if I look at myself as someone who is shy and can't go on camera, but I know I need to go on camera and speak for people, I'm not going to be able to go and do it, because I don't believe I can do it. I don't see myself as the sort of person that can fearlessly go on camera and be confident, which I can, as you can see. But if I didn't believe in myself, I wouldn't be able to do that. So whatever you're trying to achieve, it begins with self-image. If you don't believe in yourself, you're never going to be able to do it. You're just not going to, because you're going to be trying to do one thing and then your ego is going to be pulling you in another direction. It's kind of like, it's kind of like a resistance band, resistance band at the gym. You're pulling it one way and the resistance band trying to pull you the other way. That's what creates resistance. Obviously, you eliminate the resistance, you fall on the floor, but in this case, we're going to be flying. We're not going to be falling on the floor. We're going to be flying, because we're going to be, it's as if, a better example is someone's holding onto your feet and you've got a jetpack on. All right, jetpack's not quite powerful enough to carry 2 people. All right, that person's holding you and you're trying to lift off. As soon as he lets go, you go. You're off into the atmosphere. So what we're really doing now is by changing our self-image, is we're basically getting that person to let go, and we're freeing ourselves of who we once were. So that is all I have for you today. In fact, I'm going to leave you with one bonus tip, because I'm such an amazing person. I'll leave you with one bonus tip. Remember on the first point, set your intentions for the day. Control your breathing before you get out of bed. One thing I like to do every fucking day without fail is I get a pen and a paper and I write down the 10 things that I'm grateful for. It doesn't matter what, it could be, I'm grateful that I can breathe. I'm grateful for my beautiful green eyes. I'm grateful that my beard grows fuller and thicker every day. I'm grateful that the earth still spins. I'm grateful for the air, anything. You get the point. So with that, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you gained some benefit from it. I know you will have, even if you already know this stuff. I know that hearing it from my perspective will help you to concrete solidify whatever you're trying to achieve and whatever you already know, because repetition creates awareness in the mind. And the final thing I'm gonna, just before I sign it, is a metaphor I heard from Abraham Hicks. She said that you cannot expect the rain to appear if all you do is focus on the drought. Powerful. Focus and attention. Be mindful where you put it, my friends. Namaste.